Hello everyone, this is the CS Revelation. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to focus on Oracle scalar functions. Now these functions allow you to perform different calculations on data values, and they operate on single rows only and produce one result per row. So there are different categories of scalar functions. For example, there's the string functions, there's also numeric functions, date functions, conversion functions, and null related functions. Today's video is going to focus on the string functions, and in future videos I'll cover the other categories. So some of the useful functions in the Oracle string category, we have the upper, lower, substring, length, soundx, system date, reverse, and INITCAP, replace. Now let's take a look at these one at a time. And for this video, we're using this database that we have created in the previous video. Check out aggregate functions in SQL. And we created this database, and I also pasted the code for creating it in the description. I will also post it in this video's description. Okay. So the first function that we're going to work with is the upper. It converts a field to uppercase. So for example, if you were to view data from, for example, the table employee here, let's say the names of employees, you wanted to display them all in caps, then you would do select, let's say, what is the column name? And you're going to do upper, and then in parentheses, you're going to put the column name. For example, employee name. From table name, and that is from employee table. Okay, now when you run this, notice that the results will appear in caps. So when we viewed this column, which is the employee name, it showed in uppercase. Also, you could do in lowercase. That means you could make it all in lowercase by using the lower function. So it turns everything to lowercase. Notice that the original, as a matter of fact, the original is a mixture between uppercase and lowercase, but you could customize that based on your requirements. So those are the two first functions. Now substring extracts characters from a text field. So for example, if you're interested in just a portion of a string, so string means VARCHAR. So for example, the project title in the project table here, let's suppose that we're only interested in, or actually no, the employee names, we're interested in the first initials. So that means it looks like we're going to need the first character, the second character is a space, and the third character. Okay, so we're selecting a substring. That's the function we're using, and that is for employee name. But you're going to put a comma here, and you're going to mention where the character starts. From what character we're starting to extract. So I'm going to say starting at 0, that means the first one, and then ending after how many characters. So let's say we extract 3 because we want to include that space. So let's see what this gives us. So notice you got A, S, L, J, P, L. So this is very useful if you were like to just extract, let's say, employees' initials instead of getting all their names. So notice that the first value here is going to be, this first parameter is going to be the column name, or you could simply just type any string there. So for example, the word hello in quotes, and it will extract the first, starting from 0, which is the index of the first character. 0 is the index of the first character, which is H, and it's going to count how many characters. So it's going to count 3 characters, so that's what this is. Okay. Now that is the substring. Now let's take a look at the length. It returns the length of a text field. So for example, we wanted to know the length of, let's say, all the department names. So we could use the length. So it's length. And then the column name is going to go in parentheses here. That's going to be department name. And the table is department table. Okay, so we're getting the length of all the department names from department table. and you run that, and that's what we get. So the length for the first name is 10, 8, 8, 6, 2, 8, and 3. So you can actually do a lot with just simply displaying the length of a certain thing. You can probably, let's say like you wanted to list all the departments. So let's say everything where the length is, let's say, greater than 4. So we want all the department names that have a length greater than 4. So that gave me these ones. So notice we got all of these departments have a name that is greater than 4. So let's increase this to 7 and let's see what we get. So you can include the result of that function in any type of a query. So here we got only 4 because those are the only ones that have a name greater than 7 characters. Okay, so that's how you use the length. We're going to come back to the soundx last, but let's just go to system date. That is, for example, if you wanted to display, let's suppose, all the projects from the project table. Say we want to select the project title from the project table, but we want to also include the system date with that project. So let's say like that's the way we want to visualize the our output. So we want the title plus the system date. Okay, so we could just simply yeah, this is table. So this is going to list the now date, which is the 15th of January. This is the day of recording this video. So it is the system date along with all the project titles that we have in the project table. So this is what that generated. Now let's do the reverse. Reverse, it returns the reverse order of a string value. So for example, if you wanted to list all the employee names in reverse order, this function here, it returns the reverse order of a string value. Suppose that we want to list all the names of the employees in reverse order. The characters are in reverse. So we do, let's say employee, so select reverse, right? So we're going to use the function reverse. Make sure you spell it right. And that is going to be reverse of employee name. That's the column name. I don't need the system date anymore. That is going to be from employee table. So this is going to show all the names, but in reverse order. So notice now we get all the names in reverse order instead of the regular order. Okay, so A Smith became this. All right. Now let's move to the next function, and that's going to be INITCAP. What it does, this function, is that it returns all the words with the first letter in caps and everything else in lowercase. So for example, if we wanted to list, let's say, all the project titles, well, this is not going to work because every word is in caps. So what it does, it actually going to return everything that all the words with the first character of each word in caps. So let's run it anyway. So we're going to do this. Let's say the employee names. Okay, so all the employee names, we want them to have the first letter in caps, and there you have it. So nothing really has changed. Maybe if we do this, let's say a double function, composite function, let's say do reverse. So we want the reverse of the employee names, and we apply the INITCAP to that. So this is a composite function with one function within the other, nested function. So notice that the character has been turned into uppercase, the first character here. We could do something else. Maybe we do this as lower. So we're going to turn all the names to lowercase, and then this is going to turn them into INITCAP. Okay, so when we run this, there you go. So you get first character with a capital letter. Okay. Now let's go to the replace. So the replace here will replace all the occurrences of a specific string value with another string value. So the way it works is that, so first of all, let's just type our query. So we're going to, for example, replace all the characters in the project titles, let's say all the S characters with a $sign, right? So for example, that is going to be replace. Okay, so replace, in parentheses, it takes the column name. So that's project title. So project title, and then comma is going to be the character you want to replace. So it's going to be S, and then comma is going to be the new character that you want to replace with. That's going to be the $sign we said, and has to be in quotes. Okay, now that's going to be from project table. Okay, from, okay, spell it right. So that's project table. All right, so let's see if it's going to replace any. So there you go. So look, all the characters that were S characters, they turned into $sign. Now, just know that this is not going to affect the data that actually is in your tables. It's just going to be viewing them or displaying them in this format, but it's not really replacing the actual data with new data. So if I select everything now from the project table and I want to take a look at what it currently has, it shouldn't have any changes made. So you see the names are still there with S in them. So even though we did this, because this is a select statement, it's just fetching data. It's just viewing data in a specific format, but it's not really replacing the actual data with new data. So select this as data query, and it's not data definition or data manipulation. So we're not manipulating data, we're not updating data. Now for the soundx function, which returns a character string containing the phonetic representation of a character, here's a very good use for it. Say, for example, you forgot how to spell one of these project titles, but you wanted to return all the data about it. Say, for example, the payroll system. So, for example, you wanted to select all the data from the project table, and the condition that you want to put here is where, for example, the project title that you're interested in. So you're going to use the soundx. So you're going to say the project title, which is the column name, sounds like. So you want that to sound like soundx. For example, I'm going to misspell it. So for example, payroll system, right? So this is not how you spell payroll, but this is a way to retrieve data even though, let's say, like you forgot how to spell it, but you remember how it sounds like. Now this should retrieve the payroll system, and this is what we got here. Say, for example, you wanted to a project title, for example, salary system. So the salary system, let's misspell salary. So salary is without an E, okay? So let's run this and it should give me the salary system. Now, it's very useful, like I said, when you forgot how to spell a certain term. Say, for example, you did not misspell salaries, but you misspelled system. So instead of M, you put N, for example. It should still return that same value. So there you go. Okay, so that is the soundx function. Now, this is the end of this video with Oracle string functions. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about numeric functions.